Burglars at Home, Book 1, Christmas, a mystery novel for children. Chapter 1, in which I introduce myself. Surely you want to know who I am. Surely you're asking yourself, who is telling me all of this? It's a long story, by the way, a very long and complicated story, really, and it's probably best if I explain things one by one. How do I even start? Alright, I wanted to introduce myself. So, I am 8 years old and my name is Anna. Obviously, I have a surname too, but I can't tell you what it is for privacy reasons or something like that. If I really can't avoid mentioning it, I'm gonna be Anna P. But whether the first letter of my last name is actually P, that's your guess. You probably want at least to have a picture of me then, right? Sorry, none available. But if it helps, I can tell you a bit about how I look. Wait, I'll take a look at the mirror to make sure I don't get anything wrong. After all, I don't see myself half as often as other people. Yes, that mirror gonna help a lot. Let's have a look. Well, I'm quite tall for my age and light enough for my height. I can still eat all the candy I want without having to worry about my weight, as opposed to some guys at my school that scarf down hamburgers like others eat cherries. Obviously mine is spitting out the core part of the cherry. They're eating the whole hamburger. But really, back to me. Watch out, I'm a huge chatterbox who gets distracted super easily. Seriously, keep it together, Anna. You're supposed to tell people about yourself, not your weird classmates. Anyways, I have shoulder-length hair. I would rather die than wear jeans and or eat butter. My nose is about in the middle of my face and only maybe it is a little too big for how small my head is. My ears are also pretty small, especially when it comes to hearing the grown-ups say annoying stuff like, clean your room, put your jacket, it's cold, or quiet, the adults are talking. Someone ought to schedule an appointment with an ear specialist for me. Another thing, I dislike writing. At least the writing you have to do in school, neat letters and pages full of stupid stuff nobody needs. I do like drawing, big colorful words on cartoon paper in block letters. My cursive is both miserable and makes me miserable. Oh yeah, I prefer reading by a lot, magazines, novels, child-friendly textbooks about space, history, or the dinosaurs. In short, I love reading and I love talking. In fact, I can talk all day and more often than not, people find it quite annoying. I keep repeating myself. Well, it happens to the best of us. You can't expect someone to come up with new things to talk about all the time. My teachers talk a lot about the same boring stuff all the time as well, and they're still getting paid, so it can't be that bad. And since I love talking so much, and since I wanted to somehow document this crazy long story that I lived through, I decided that it would be a good idea to record it all with a little phone my dad got me for Christmas last year. It's all modern and can record audios that are hours upon hours long. And it's exactly what I need right now. Originally, I was only supposed to use it to text my dad whenever I wasn't staying at his place, because that's another thing you need to know. My dad may be a pastor, but he is definitely divorced from my mom. No idea how that kind of stuff happens. But adults get the stupidest things done all the time. Nuclear war, climate change, boring playgrounds, and apparently divorces as well. And just like terrorism, First, second, and third degree murder, and all that other cruel adult shit. Divorces, too, aren't free of victims. And those victims are usually the divorced pair's children, at least in my experience. It's extremely rare that I ever see both my parents in the same place. We're never going to have breakfast together again, even if it's only on Sunday mornings, or visit the zoo or the beach or anything. It's always either being with one parent, for example, mom, or with the other, dad in that case, with no in between. As a result of that, we, the children, need to be transported from one parent to the other in regular intervals, which means that we spend most of our weekends sitting in my dad's car. Why, you ask? Let me tell you, because it wasn't enough for my divorced parents to just move 2 or 3 blocks away from each other. No, it had to be 2 or 3 states with several hundred kilometers in between. My mom moved into an average little town called Radau in the middle of Rhineland-Palatine, and my dad into the tiniest village, Mitchell, somewhere high on top of the Thuringia Slate Mountains. That village, he told me, was named after a little creek that runs right through it. Between those two places, we have approximately 400 kilometers of highways and country roads that take almost 5 hours to cross, not counting traffic jams and various stops at the gas stations and parking lots that scatter the roadsides everywhere in Germany. It's ridiculous. And if I could change anything about this current situation, then it would be that stupid distance. Because in my honest opinion, if they really had to get away from each other because they couldn't get along any longer, they could have at least stayed in the same city. But well, I said it before, and I'll say it again, adults keep getting up to the most idiotic thing, like bank robberies, assassinations, and divorces, and the like. You bet that if I thought about it a little longer, I could come up with 1,000 more stupid adult things that make anything we children do, staying out too long or eating too much candy or, God forbid, forget to do our homework, look quite harmless in comparison. Really, none of that really deserves any attention or even punishment in comparison to the stuff adults get up to. I saw a lot of stupid adult things I just told you about on the TV. You know how they blew up scarily strong bombs in the Pacific Ocean that destroy everything around them and that can have horrible long-term effects for the people living there? And none of the adults that do this get any punishment. Where when I don't clean up my room for like a week, my mom blows up like a bomb and I get in horrible trouble. And the adults can just totally demolish a bunch of innocent islands and get away with it? That's a bit unfair, don't you think so? I don't get it. Just as little as I get why my parents had to have a divorce. It really just causes suffering for me, or more specifically for us. Us being me and Bubblegum. Bubblegum, that's my little brother. He is right now on the 30th of December 2010, about 2.5 years old. Obviously his real name isn't Bubblegum. Technically he's called Benjamin, after some biblical figure, but I only call him Bubblegum because he has such a bubbly personality. That means he's annoying. And because he always uses his plastic straws to blow bubbles into his cacao. Sometimes, not often enough, he's also sweet as chewing gum. If he was a chewing gum, he would probably taste like sour cherries or a green apple. He doesn't, though. I checked. Not because he was particularly sweet, but because he was annoying the hell out of me.